Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're back over on the test account and we're going to be looking at Mira. Now she is going to be up on the global servers tomorrow, so I want to see exactly where she's being used and if she's being used. So let's run through the primary game modes, then we're going to look at the popularity of the hero. But overall, when we start looking at the different aspects, now when you think on the test server, there are some whales over here, there are some very large players, and if Mira is being used in a lot of different formations, let's see exactly what these top two players are looking at and where and if Mira is being used. So first formation, we do have the Awakened version of Entendre, also noticing Oden in there. So unfortunately not being used, but we have the twins, we have Mortis, still being used in meta formations. Here we have the Awakened version of Belinda, still very broken. We have Shmira in there, some really solid buffers. And here we have Skylin and we have Zora. Two heroes, again, pretty broken in their respective classifications. And then looking at land, we have Rimuru in here. We also do have Gavus. Then we have the Awakened version of Lucius. We have Aurelia in there. We have Rendell. So again, thinking of the heroes that we're looking for, not seeing the hero present. Then we have Iran. Then we also do have Nyla. And then to finish it out, we have the Awakened version of Athalia. And we have Libirda in there as the big damage dealers. Now, of course, not being and not present within the first one, which kind of makes the assumption it's probably not, or she's not going to be used within the second formation. I don't see anything breaking out. And again, a lot of players build these heroes out, especially when you're looking at the whales, all fully maxed out, 5 stars and shiny stars at that. Maxed out furniture, definitely a well built out formation. So unfortunately in the Kane fight, we are not seeing Mira at all. Now the Nightmare Corridor, let's see the exact same thing. Now remember, Mira is a burst hero, which means should be present in the burst places like this. You can see one boss kill right here with Vika, 13 seconds. So when you think of the burst damage, this has to be very high to get the burst damage to scale. Now we do have the original version of Baden and Trishia in here. Again, no Mira. Then we have the Awakened version of Thane. There's Lan again. So again, a couple heroes that we're seeing some really solid overlap. Thorin's in here. We also do see the Awakened version of Athalia. We see Scion in here, which again is super prevalent. Even have Zora in here. And then the final formation does give us Rendell again, or Randy, because I know a lot of people hate how I say Rendell. But overall, there is the final formation, which again, Mira is not being used in the formation within the Cursed Realm or the Nightmare Corridor. So let's check out and see what this looks like overall in the Treasure Scramble. Is this the place that we're going to see her? Now again, thinking of the crowd control, thinking of the hero itself, seems like this would be the place that we would probably see her. So looking through, and as you can see, a lot of victories in here. We have Rendell in here, or Randy. We do have the Awakened version of Athalia in here. Lan is in here, and this only has 4 formations at this point. We see Skylin in here, as well as a couple other faces that we've seen everywhere else. Hilduin's in here. And even looking at the teams with the other wins and the losses, even right here is the stall team. You can see Sheltier actually being used in here as well. And unfortunately, not seeing any heroes in there. Now, Kafa, the exact same. Are we seeing her used anywhere? There's Skylin, there's Zora. And again, not seeing utility. There's Scion, there's Kregor. Not seeing her used in here at all, which again is pretty disappointed with the brand new, especially having the trial version. So then it brings us to actually looking at the popularity, and let's see if these heroes are being used. Now remember, I feel like we're probably going to see her built and probably see her a little bit earlier right now because of campaign formations. So even here looking at the top, what do we got? 13, 14, 15. So even looking again at the regular heroes, I don't know how fast they're going to be kind of prevalent in here. If we're going to see her in here at all, I don't even know if, again, we're getting pretty far down there. So maybe not even in the top 50. What does she come in as? So looking at Graveborn Caster, she is coming in number 3. So a little bit ahead of Shmira, Kayleen, even Isabella. But you can see Lady Simona still absolutely dominating it. Oden. So definitely seeing a lot of progression with them. But let's go ahead and look at this hero and see where we can see her. So campaign formation, again, campaign formation, you can see popularity, ranked number 17th. Now that could also be, and I don't know if this is spot on, but that could also be campaign 17 because we have the trial version on the test server. Now, of course, also remember that this isn't indicative to what we see. It is a brand new hero. There might be a delay to formations that she's fitting in. There might be a delay into the feasibility where she's being used. Exclusive furniture coming in at 22nd. Eternal engraving coming in at 25th. Signature item at level 40 coming in at 32nd. So you can see a little bit lower than we thought. Not really coming out of the gate with a lot of damage, which we thought as a burst mage, we could see a lot of damage, but this hero does provide a lot of crowd control, and that's what we'll look at in just a minute. Then looking at the formations, you can see very common formations. Campaign right here running with Rendell, running with Bron, running with the Awakened version of Mira and Ivan. Guys, when you think of a formation that is pretty broken within a lot of different game modes, if you're running Randy, if you're running, and this of course is what I was running. Now, a lot of players over on the new free-to-play account were saying we should have picked up Mira because of the bonus in there, not because of what we have with Mira and the skills and abilities she possesses, but being able to run a 5 Graveborn team makes a hero like Randy and Ivan combination even stronger, and I feel like this is going to be a big one to add to that team. Me personally, I run this one with Aethys, and then of course Mira is actually replaced with the Awakened version of Athalia for that SP effect. But if we ran Mira again, thinking of the bonus we'd pick up in here, you can see 5th, 6th, even here we have Sonya running in this one, Rimaru's and a couple other ones, even looking at the King's Tower. We have Gorn in here, which of course is going to be huge. So she's seeing a little bit of viability in a couple different places. Forsaken Necropolis, that's a given. When you have a hero, of course, in kind of thinking back when the heroes were released, so it's pretty interesting to see, even with the build, is when you think of the build, you know, seeing Randy and then seeing the Awakened version of Thorin and now seeing Mira, it has been an incredible amount of time since we actually picked up the copy of Randy, or since Randy was actually released into AFK Arena, because of course, then it was followed by Thorin, and then of course, I think this is like a lot of iterations. I'm thinking almost, don't quote me on this, but I'm thinking like 6 to 7 different heroes that we've had. And even when you start looking at the different factions, thinking about, you know, Raoul, it has been a long time since we've had another Lightbearer. Even thinking in here, we did see Gorin, which of course is the most recent. Then down here, we have the Awakened version of Iran, which again, is a long time ago, because after Iran, we seen Zora. Now we're seeing the next hero that is going to be another Awakened Hippo hero, meaning that Misha was the last one, which again, Misha followed or was actually previous to the Awakened version of Iran, and then looking in here. So when it comes to the primary 4 faction heroes, it has been an incredible amount of time since we have seen heroes in there. Now, players were also asking about the Noble Tavern, and what is Dolly talking about in here? Haven't even checked it out, haven't looked at it, but let's see what she says. So we know Graveborn, word has it that the eerie shadow will appear when you feel most disheartened, just in time to savor the envy and desire in your heart. That, of course, we've seen the sneak peeks, we've seen the screenshots of the new Awakened Hippo that is coming. A lot of players, again, are saying, is it an Awakened version of Tassie? I don't feel like it's going to be an Awakened version of Tassie by any means. A lot of players were also saying it could be the Awakened version of Lucretia, just looking at the weapon, looking at the horns, looking at a couple other ones. But at this point, guys, it's clearly speculation on what we're going to get. But all right, so that is going to do it for today's video. Unfortunately, not seeing a lot of utility, not even seeing really any places, short of campaign formations or tower formations, that Mira is being used. So it might be another hero very similar to Halia, very similar to Scion, that is either too expensive to get or going to be a pass if we don't see a lot more utility with this hero. Because like we were saying earlier, when you start looking at the hero itself, really possesses a lot of crowd control. So between here, there are a lot of different forms of crowd control that she has, which again, might make a big difference when it comes to PvP because of the hunter ability and the marking ability, but overall, a lot of different forms of crowd control that she possesses. We're gonna have to wait and see exactly where she's being used. So, all right, guys, so again, that is gonna do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of Mira, and as always, thank you guys for watching.